What up? What up? How's everybody doing? What's up, Jules? You can ask me right now. What's up, Francis, Jules, Anna, Paper Pen, Not Sunshine, Country Chickens. Hello, Moon Crystal. Good to see you again. Indy Pam. What else we got in here? Cindy De La Puente, Anna. Good to see you guys. Suzanne Thompson. Hello. We got Jen from the suburbs back in the house. What is up? Hey, Nadia. Seven, Timmy, my guy Don Spain. What's up, Don? Good to see you. Mandy. What's up, Electra? No Effects Punk. Good to see you again. Turn to Diamonds. What's up, Courtney? Whistleblower. What's up, Kevin? WL. Patricia. What's going on, everybody? Polly. What's going on, Jules? You got a question? Timothy. What's going on, Willow? What's up, Renee? What is up? Welcome to another Sleuth Intuition Live. This one is going to be in response to the bold claims by the Daily Mail. And should be pretty factually based. We're going to go over, we're going to do this in chronological order. So that would be first Kegan's probable cause affidavit. We know that took place just a few days. Let's see. Then we'll take a look at Ron Logan's probable cause affidavit. And then finally, 3 years after he was arrested, Kegan Kline's interview transcript and then we'll spend a little bit of time on Richard Allen's. And after reading all of this information this morning, there's a lot of inconsistencies. A lot of the information that is in the Richard Allen probable cause affidavit is different from what you can find in the Ron Logan affidavit, which leads me to believe that when this Ron Logan probable cause affidavit was authored by that FBI agent, they may not have had footage from the Hoosier Harvest store. What do you guys think about that? And we'll talk about it as it comes. Good to see all you guys. Hey, good to see you, Frank. Did you get that stuff I sent you? Thanks for reminding me. Stuff on Jordan Sofer. Hey, Bass Girl. Hey, thanks for I think you hit up the merch shop or you donated something. Thank you. Shout out to you for helping my channel. Yeah. They're like, shut up, dude. What about the gag order, Nadia? What specifically about it? I mean, I kind of expected it to come. Especially if it might lead to somebody who was involved. If it puts them in a better position, then yeah, they need to put that gag order into place so that they don't put him in any better situation than they need to put him in, within the laws of the country and that state and county. Beach says the Daily Mail is one of the least believable tabloids over here in the UK. Thanks for that. That's what I've been reading. And you can't really trust any of these like media outlets blindly. They're just people and they're out there chasing a story, trusting their sources, quote unquote. Yeah, there's really nothing to point at Logan. There was some interesting things that I did find while reading his probable cause information today. The timing of it is very strange. In his probable cause affidavit, they have him leaving right at about 4 p.m., headed to the aquarium store in Lafayette, which is about 27 minutes away. And that's right at the same time that Richard Allen was supposedly seen kind of like in between his house and the Hoosier Harvest store. So I thought that was interesting. It doesn't go to motive, but opportunity, we'll talk about it. NoFX Punk 99 says the rate at which Moscow ID is pulling video surveillance, I'm shocked. I know, it was like a Batman movie. You remember when they had that technology where they can kind of access all of the electronic devices, access the cameras, GPS, like anywhere in the world or anywhere near. Well, I don't know the ins and outs of how it worked, but it's kind of like what they're doing, right? They're like gathering everything and kind of creating like a 3D like world, kind of getting like a close up inside there. It's crazy. Yeah, it seems I think it's a good strategy. I don't know if I know usually detectives and investigators will try to gather CCTV from businesses, but I never even thought to ask the public to just willingly, give that up. So that was good to see the cooperation from the public and law enforcement in that regard. Hey, TTM, good to see you. Yeah, Kevin, when the news person asked Ron Logan to say down the hill, he reminded me of the police lineup. I think I have that.
Killer of those two Indiana teenagers. Investigators executed a search warrant at the home of this man, Ron Logan, who owns the property where the bodies of 13-year-old Abigail Williams and Liberty German were found. Cops took away a white Ford pickup truck during the search.
Who is safe here or anywhere else anymore?
Ron Logan is now in custody on an unrelated probation violation. I recently spoke to him about the murders.
You just cannot believe this terrible thing that happened to the community and the families actually happened here on my property in my backyard.
He told me he has an alibi, buying tropical fish 20 miles away.
I was not home during the time that all this was happening. I was in Lafayette. Yeah. And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission to look back here for the girls.
Liberty German shot this chilling image of the suspected killer approaching the girls on a hiking trail, and she recorded the killer's voice.
What do you hear on there?
Sounds like Richard
Nothing
Allen
that
now,
I
huh?
recognize at all. No one. I don't recognize the voice at all.
I asked Ron Logan to repeat those same chilling words.
Down the hill.
And that image of the suspect?
The picture is of such poor quality, it doesn't look like anyone I've ever
What's
seen.
up, Charlie?
Police have not revealed what led them to search his home, but said in a statement, "We basically are here to try to eliminate him or put him as a higher suspect in our case." Ron Logan told me he is devastated by the discovery of the bodies on his property.
That was like being hit with a bolt of lightning on my property. I mean, you just can't put words to it.
Yeah, it is kind of strange that he brings up the tropical going to the aquarium store. Because I mean, he didn't leave until 4. Yeah, there's nothing officially pointing to Ron Logan. So I don't know how this all got started. I think it's just him. I think this is what got it started right here. This image right here. Oh my God, it's the bridge guy. Not the bridge guy. So you guys remember when Paul Holes went out there, right? And Paul Holes is about 5'9", 5'8". And I said, man, he sure is about the height of the, that's how tall bridge guy is. He's closer to 5'8". Ron Logan was about 6 foot, like kind of a large build. Long legs. Not tall, not super tall. But yeah, we were looking for somebody much smaller build with maybe a gut. So whether or not Ron Logan's involved, I can't tell you that. But he's not the guy on the bridge. There's another. Can we agree? On that part. Ron Logan sure went out of his way to present to media as just a good old boy, dodging around, would never suspect law enforcement record just listening to him. Yeah, that's what I said during a recent meeting was either Ron Logan's innocent, and I feel bad for him, and that's where I feel that's my opinion right now. And I think that's the case. But if it comes out that he's was somehow involved, yeah, man, that makes him pretty cold-blooded to come out and talk like that. I doubt it. Hey, Renee. His phone pinged on the bridge. Where'd you get that information? We're going to look at the probable cause right here. It doesn't say that. Too tall, too old, gait is so different. Yeah, completely. It's just not him. Yeah, not to mention everybody dresses like that, Francis. Let's see. Him wearing a similar outfit on his first news interview seems to be the reason Ron Logan believers cite. Yeah. And why the hell would he be wearing the same clothes? I mean, how ridiculous does that sound? And if you listen to what they're writing in the Daily Mail, they're taking all of the information that we have now, they're just fitting it all together, Yeah, Patricia, FBI took a fine-tooth comb to the Ron Logan property. Well, they did a probation check, which doesn't require a search warrant, but they can't search everything. They can just make sure he's not, I don't know, drinking alcohol, whatever the terms are of his probation, So they really don't need to ask him, but I'm sure he let them. They didn't come back till March with an actual search warrant. Yeah, I might cut in and out. I think my wife's in a meeting right now. So anytime I see it lag, I'll just... Rain Dancer, good to see you. Who knows? Maybe half of the DM article is true and half is not true. I think that's exactly what's going on. They're taking all of the information that we have, and they're kind of, because we've kind of run it through the fact checker, right? What's real, what's not. We found the consensus. So they're taking that along with the actual facts and interpreting it. This is their interpretation. Hey, Ivy. Another thing is they planned taking the girls to Ron's land. In my opinion, BG would have abducted them before they crossed the bridge so they wouldn't have to cross the creek. Yeah, I wonder if they even planned to cross that creek. You got the private drive. And those girls won't, they weren't afraid of water. Hey, French. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the bridge guy is Richard Allen. I used to see Ron Logan on the bridge, but now that Richard Allen is in the picture, yeah, it's like it's all clear now, right? Even when you hear the voice, you're like, oh man, there it is. So when they play Ron Logan's voice, you're like, they play Kegan Kline's voice, you're like, wow, you're like, wow, it's kind of similar. But it's the region. They're both from the same place. They're all from the same place. Kegan, Ron Logan, and Richard Allen. So they're all going to sound like they're from the same region. It was a regional similarity, in my opinion. Kevin says the way Ron Logan spoke in some early interviews while standing where the girls were found was chilling. Yeah, it was a little strange, but he has a point. Imagine what he's trying to say is like, imagine if this happened to you. Like two girls, this has never really happened in this place ever, and it happened right here on my property. So there's two ways to look at it. You can look at it suspiciously, like he's kind of bragging, maybe. Paul says, how long after Paul Holes was there did Will search the river or Richard Allen's arrest? I don't know the precise timing, but I know it was shortly after. There's been speculation that maybe he went in there as kind of like a consultant and was like, have you guys done this and done that and done this? Like, you're coming up. It might be time to call this a cold case so you guys can go back and do this and this. But if you want to go ahead and do it now, I recommend that you guys, go look at old information, go look at all the other files, and then boom, there's a mislabeled document sitting, where it shouldn't be sitting. Finding information like that's what cold case detectives do. That, and they have a lot of success with the new technology at the time that may not have been available, 5, 6, 10, whatever, how many years ago with these other cases. That's not what the search warrant says. Making that assumption is the biggest mistake people are making, in my opinion. He was wearing the same clothes because the video hadn't been released yet. No, what do you mean? He was wearing the same clothes? You're saying he wearing the same clothes he was wearing when he murdered two girls? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a look real quick at guess it would help if I shared it, huh? Hey, what's up, Carrie? Good to see you. I'm just not sure about that. I don't know yet. I'm not sure. Dr. Thrifty, good to see you. Yeah, that's what I personally think as well, Ivy. I think they made a run for it. AB says, I think he is involved. Due to the fact if an unknown person went near Ron's property, he would chase them off with a shotgun. Remember what X said, he was known for young girl sex parties. Yeah, but that stuff's unfounded. Hey, Miss Persevere, I believe Richard Allen is bridge guy 100%, but I don't know that he's the... What does that mean? Or the person who committed the act. Is that supposed to be only killer? Hey, Heather. Yeah, there's a weird tone. I do have to admit that. Cross the creek, possibly to avoid running into any potential witnesses. Yeah, I could see that. Take them far and away, and then take him down a route that is also away. That makes sense. That's another good point. Brenda Starr says, does Ron Logan know Richard Allen? We don't have that information. No, we don't. I haven't seen one bit of evidence pointing to a connection between any of these players, really. Hey, Gloria. Hey, Vanessa, what's up? Okay. State of Indiana, and the County of Miami. Kegan Anthony Klein, Trooper David R. Vito of Indiana State Police Department, being first duly sworn upon oath, says that on February 25th, 2017, in the County of Miami and in the state of Indiana at the 67 East Canal Street, Peru, Indiana, child solicitation, child exploitation, possession of child pornography, child exploitation, possession of child pornography, synthetic identity deception, obstruction of justice. Kay likes true crime. Is that what you selected on the poll? That's where I'm at. I mean, it's possible that there's some Ron Logan involvement. I just don't see it. You know, but that goes to anybody really in that general vicinity. Remember, there was a whole bunch of other search warrants served. We didn't get a chance to see those probable cause affidavits, you know. I heard that on the Maxwell warrant was the first time they mentioned the .40 caliber. All right. Back to Kegan Kline's probable cause affidavit for his arrest on the 25th, which we know was stems from the ski mask incident. We'll get into that. The undersigned says on February 25th, 2017, the Indiana State Police and federal and the FBI executed a search warrant at at the address they just gave up here. Why didn't they block that one out? While working ISB case redacted, we all know that this is the Delphi murder case here. While working the Delphi case, the FBI sent information to ISP Cybercrimes Unit that an adult male was soliciting female juveniles utilizing the social media platforms Snapchat and Instagram. Now, we all know that that's how it all starts. We don't know where they go from there. This is how they catch them. They use, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and then they send them over to places like Skype and the Kick app, or maybe even to a pre-set up phone. You know, hey, I left you a phone outside your home last night. It has everything. It has the passwords. It has everything for you. All you got to do is turn it on and click on that, and you're already logged in, and we can talk. Here, I sent money to you. Go purchase a burner phone. That way we can continue to talk. You don't want to get me in trouble, do you? Shit like that. Okay. The adult male was using the username Anthony Shots. Subpoenas were sent to Instagram and Snapchat for the Anthony Shots account information. The Instagram and Snapchat returns provided Comcast IP addresses. A subpoena was sent to Comcast for the IP addresses associated with Anthony Shots' account, and they returned Tony's address in Peru, Indiana. The Instagram subpoena advised the Anthony Shots account was registered 7/20/2016, and the Snapchat return advised the account was registered on 7/14/2016. Thank you, Francis. God bless those and their families. What's that? I don't know what that is. Hey, Bono says no time to move them. Well, they had plenty of time, and they did move them. They had from, 213 was the encounter, down the hill, 215, 216. Assault is taking place between, 220 and, I would have to say 345, 350. On February 25th, 2017, at approximately 12:30 p.m., so they had left. They bounced, right? They went to Las Vegas. They left. And the moment they came back, boom, they served a search warrant in regards to the Delphi case. The search warrant was executed on a residence by ISP, FBI, and Peru Police Department. Tony and his son, Kegan Anthony Klein, were located in the residence at approximately 12:35 p.m. Tony was interviewed by ISP, Sergeant Kunstick, and FBI Special Agent Willman. Tony was read rights and agreed to speak with investigators, confirmed that he had Comcast and their internet provider and it was secured network. told investigators that Kegan did use Instagram and Snapchat. At approximately 1:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kegan Kline was interviewed by ISP Sergeant Kunstick and FBI Special Agent Willman. Kegan was read his rights and agreed to speak with investigators. During Kegan's interview, he initially denied creating the social media accounts and talking to underage girls. Hey, Shay. No, we're really getting into the meat and potatoes of it all right now. Been mainly just kind of chatting it up. Hey, Kay. The thing is, if Ron Logan was involved, would Richard Allen have changed clothes at Ron Logan's? Also, if someone else was there, wouldn't they have just been waiting in the car near the private drive? See, the Daily Mail article sees these questions and then gives the convenient answer, like, oh, no. Kegan and Richard never made, Richard Allen never made contact with Kegan Kline or Ron Logan. He went rogue. That's their answer to your question. Everything fits right around good questions. Hey, what's up, CD? Yeah, no worries, man. Hey, Rockways. If Ron Logan was involved, then the crew would have parked at his house and hidden their cars from view, right? Possibly. I mean, what's strange is he went to the transfer station. I pulled a little screenshot of where that's at on the map. It's right. It's in the same, basically the little, the block of the Packers plant. So it's basically, the same address almost. So what was he doing there at 12? What was Kegan Kline doing if he was, in fact, looking up the Marathon gas station? Like those three areas are right next to each other. They're all in a row. And why are you going to the transfer station? What are you doing there? Is this part of the crime? I mean, that's a huge what if. All right. Later in the interview, he admitted to creating the Anthony Shots profile and speaking to underage girls. Kegan told investigators he created the account approximately 6 months ago. Kegan stated he talks to girls he knows personally and girls he doesn't know personally. Kegan stated he meets girls on Instagram. He said he knows the age of the girls he communicates with because he talks to them. Kegan stated if a girl told him she was 16 or under, he wouldn't care and would still talk to them. Kegan told investigators he would find girls on Instagram and then tell them to talk to him on Snapchat. See, that's what I was referring to earlier. That's what all these predators do. They use the fake Emily Ann type account, which they present themselves as like a 13, 14-year-old girl. They gain the trust of their victims, which are another 13, 14-year-old girl. And then they say, hey, you want to talk to my dad or you want to talk to my brother? But dad and brother are actually the main person behind the account. It's all part of this weird manipulation. Kegan admitted to speaking to approximately 15 girls who were underage and advised he probably received pictures from every one of them. He advised he saved their pictures in his gallery. During his interview, Kegan stated he was fucked and he should have left. Okay, why would he say that? So they're serving a search warrant in regards to the Delphi case. Why say this? Advised he packed another bag and took it to Las Vegas. Tony and Kegan returned from Las Vegas on February 25th, the same day they served the search warrant. He stated he was going to leave when his dad was asleep. Why? Kegan told investigators the main phone he uses is the white iPhone 5C. Hey, what's up, Zen? Good to see you. Shay says, I will never understand why. If BG came from behind them, crossed the bridge, and took control of those girls, why in God's name did they stand there and wait for him? I don't think that's what happened. I think he was already on the south end, because there's a witness who saw him on the bridge, on the first pier, on the first platform, and then as she turned around to leave, the girls were coming towards the bridge. So that means that he had time to go all the way to the south end of the bridge, and the girls, they must have came to the bridge, maybe waited for their friends, maybe sent out a text message or something, and they're like, "Oh no, we just missed you. We're leaving." They're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna go hang out on the bridge for a little while. We'll, I'll call my dad and he'll come pick us up." Very, and there's nothing complex about it, but he's probably already down there. So they're walking down the bridge. I have a feeling he checked everything out on the back end, and then came back past them, made sure nobody was, around, maybe even looking down, looking up the creek, down the creek, trying to see if anybody was near the head of the bridge. And then that's when he was like, all right, everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and proceed with this crime. Yeah. To me, the Richard Allen will cause affidavit, the information with this is, we believe that he was already on the bridge and already on the south end. So he stated he was going to leave when his dad was asleep. Kegan told investigators the main phone he uses was the iPhone 5C. After Kegan's interview, he was polygraphed at the Peru State Police post by Sergeant Matthew Collins. He did not pass that polygraph. I don't even know why they do those anymore. Kegan and Sergeant Collins spoke about his incident and case, the Delphi case. Kegan again admitted to creating the fake Anthony Shots profile and speaking to underage girls. Kegan told Sergeant Collins the girls ranged from 15 to 17, and he knew their ages because they told them how old they were. Okay. Because of time, I think we're going to skip the rest of this. So there's the iPhone 4. And see, here's the Kick chat. So this is where they would be sending them, where they can communicate anonymously. I think you can set it to an anonymous setting. There was a discussion that involved the user of an iPhone and another party sharing Dropbox public links containing CSAM and child erotica media files. Descriptions of the files are listed below the chat. The user of the iPhone 4 portrayed themselves as Emily Ann 45. The user had used the Emily Ann identity in 2015 on the Samsung Galaxy device. Hey, what's up, 12 Cut? I think the most important thing in the Delphi case is the ski mask incident. If it wasn't for that specific incident, we may have never known about Anthony Shots or Kegan Kline. And I have a feeling if it wasn't for Kegan Kline, we may have never found out about Richard Allen. His iPhone was named Klein Photography. Factory set approximately February 23rd. Interesting. There were some messages recovered from this device from Meet Me, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, conversations that took place between February 23rd and February 25th discussed meeting people in Las Vegas and prostitution. Yeah, what the hell? So weird. Like, they got to be connected. I just don't know how. I mean, they're running the day after the ski mask incident, they run to Las Vegas. The day they return, they're served with a search warrant. The user also used two profiles, Kegan Kline and Emily Ann, Kegan's stepsister. So that's what he would tell him, that he was his stepsister. To communicate with female teens, conversations were found on the devices where Emily discussed how she had sex with Kegan and his father at the same time. Like, how disgusting is that? So all you people who are out there sticking up for these people, that's what you're sticking up for. All right. So we can't spend it. I mean, we could do a whole, an entire show on this, but we're going to keep, we got to keep going here. Let's pull up Ron Logan's probable cause here. Ann says, I'd believe that Kegan, Ron Logan, and Richard Allen all swam in the same slimy porn pools. They're in the Delphi Probable. I mean, I could believe it if you could show me something. If you showed me something, it wouldn't be hard for me to be like, oh, yeah, small town USA. But I haven't seen anything. WL22. I wonder how long law enforcement has had Who's Your Heartland Store video. I don't think they have had it the entire time. And I'm going to tell you why right here when we get into this affidavit. They say the drop-off time was 1 o'clock, right? We now know it was closer to 1:49. I mean, that's a huge discrepancy. I mean, it's not even close. Sorry, I had a dangler. Heather says this case should be the poster child of all crimes that went far too wrong. Oh man, this has got to be the strangest case, not just because of how violent, because it was very extremely violent, not just because of the suspects. I mean, just everything, the totality of it. If you take everything, from the Daniel Nations to the Chadwells to the whole Ron Logan stuff, claiming that he's the guy on the bridge. I mean, it's really strange. Dropbox. Yep, that could be key. They say the Dropbox was how they gained knowledge of this huge pedo ring. So once again, it might be helpful if I show you guys what I'm looking at, right? Here is Ron Logan's probable cause affidavit. Nicole Robertson, FBI, is the author. We did a whole 2-hour live stream on her. Hey, Verbal Judo, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for reading this affidavit to us. Yeah, it was actually recommended by one of my subscribers. Some good correspondence back and forth. It was like, you know what, with everything that's going on, I really wish we could take a look at all of the information we have, all of the affidavits, Richard Allen, Ron Logan, Kegan Klein, and just see if, we can find something or put something together with that information. So credit to that person. The bloodlust. An emotional statement from a judge, from a Delphi judge. We got a dangler. Gail McCauley, hello. Obviously, girls were scared of him as soon as they saw him coming. Maybe he even yelled at them to stop, and that's why Libby started filming. Maybe he felt trapped at the end of the bridge. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, maybe he popped out of nowhere. Just started squeezing him into that back area. God, that's so scary. I mean, if there's somebody else involved, I hope they find him. Ann Vroom says, Libby's brave video is what made this case huge. Yeah, it drew me in like a moth to a flame and probably stopped Perp in his tracks. Yeah, with all this attention, this guy's not going to go out and do it again. You know, he's going to wait till everything kind of calmed down, and we didn't let it. Evansdale needs something, you know, needs a lot of that, guys, if you could. And we will be spending time on that case. PT Cruiser owned by TK's mom. One of the Kleins were there. I mean, that's a huge jump, but it is very interesting. Were they known to drive it, you know? Yeah, it's a global case, that's for sure, Rain Dancer. That's coming from you, who's not even doesn't even live in the United States. It's proof. Proof right there. Yep, Vanessa, the timeline is way off. And I will prove it to you right now. Okay. So this top part's just kind of giving you some information. You can find all these documents online. I'll see if I can find some easy links, but I mean, they're not hard to find. This is kind of her background, kind of talking about who she is. And this is what she states in regards to the case. On February 13th, 2017, at approximately 1 p.m. What do you guys think about that? So an FBI agent who is swearing to a judge the information is factual. That's the best information they had. How is that possible? I mean, even Kelsey would tell you that that's not right. Because I think she used to say like 1:30-ish. Like shortly after 1:30 or something. Yeah, there you go. Like closer to 1:38. Carol Stranhope, hello, says Libby and Abby were sacrificial lambs who took down the largest pedal ring in Indiana. Yeah, I hope it wasn't in vain. J Cube, Kentucky. Well, you would have to assume it would be their local time there. The location of where they're speaking about. Juvenile victims, hereafter referred to as LG and AW, were taken in a Monon High Bridge Trail, located in Delphi, Indiana. And they give you the coordinates of that area there. Which was the time last contact. Oh, I'm sorry. See, at approximately 2:13 p.m., which was the time of the last contact, with LG and AW by cellular device. The victims were to be picked up by a family member at 3 p.m., and the victims never met with the family member. Approximately 5:30 p.m. was the last successful ping of the cellular phone by AT&T. The victims were located deceased on February 14th at 12:17 p.m. Ivy's asking, what date was the search warrant written? I wonder how long it takes to collect their surveillance. Which search warrant? Are you talking about Ron Logan's? Kegan Kline's was August 25th. Ron Logan, he was actually searched, I can't remember, just a few days after the crime. It might even say in here, actually. But this search warrant was served on 3/17, so March 17th. Quite some time after the crime. So I guess you would have had plenty of time to hide evidence, LG and AW are presumed to have made contact with an unknown male. Wait, I'm skipping all this, ain't I? A suspect has been developed of a white male wearing a blue jacket with a heavy physical build. So we know who provided that, wearing a cap and blue jeans. The development of a suspect was made by a 43-second video taken on Libby's phone where the suspect follows the victims as they are walking on the Monon High Bridge Trail. Near the end of the video, the suspect speaks to the victim saying, "Down the hill." We also know that one of the girls said gun. But they have the gun in question, so now there's, they can speak freely about that. It sounds as though he is directing the victims to leave the trail they were on and enter the wooded area below. Hey, what's up, Chopper? I am doing well. I hope the same for you and yours. Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you, Francis. Lil bro, Jim is the new sleuther peeps. GI, give some love. Eastern time zone. Hello, Cher. Libby dropped her phone and they never found it. No, they found her phone. They found it 20 feet away from the crime scene. Yeah. Well, they did multiple searches. But yeah, I mean, March 17th is quite a ways out. But still, it would be really hard to hide all that blood and all that stuff. It just seems impossible. Because you can't, I mean, what did he do? Drive out there with the four-wheeler? I mean, how do you just not leave this trail? Just DNA everywhere. You can't just snap your fingers and just disappear and then reappear somewhere, just completely clean. Every step you take, And sure enough, the way they explained Richard Allen, or the guy we assume is Richard Allen. What's up, James? Good to see you. Hey, Dave. What's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in a minute. Parameter? Carol Stanhope says, I think it is crucial to note that many of perps in this case worked at Chrysler and Kokomo, including Tony Klein. I mean, we don't even know if he's technically a perp, and he might be the only one that I know of. Lauren says, I feel like we never got a straight answer about why KK wasn't arrested the first time when the phone and made admissions about the CSAM. No, they did finally come out and admit what happened. It was another clerical error. They came out on record and stated that. A clerical error. Two very interesting clerical errors, right? Is a single-person aircraft with a parachute and motorized... Oh! You wear it on your back. Perfect for escaping a crime scene and better than a jet ski. Wow. That's some 007 shit right there. Yeah, we're going to get in it, Francis. We're going to step all in this. They stepped all over it. We're going to step in it. Let's continue on. No person has come forward and identified himself as the person who met the victims. See, man, my head almost exploded when I read this, right? This is March 17th. You know, just about a month has gone by, right? No person has come forward and identified himself as the person who met the victims and made the statements in Libby's video. Therefore, it is believed the person in LG's video participated in the killings. Okay, whoa. So if he did come forward, does that mean the opposite? Let's read this again. No person has come forward and identified himself as the person who met the victims and made the statement in LG's video. Therefore, it is believed that the person in LG's video participated in the killings. Well, I guess he never admitted to saying the statement, right? Just that he was there that day. I guess it's not the same thing. But he did come forward. Oh, no worries. If you want to yell in here, that's fine. That's up to you. Ivy says it's so crazy to read this stuff back again after Richard Allen's arrest. Yeah, it's very crazy. And it's weird to see all the confliction. Images of the suspect have been broadcast on the news media since February 15th, 2017 as a person of interest. Libby and Abby are presumed to have made contact with the unknown male at approximately 2:13 p.m. based upon analysis of Libby's cell phone. Which recorded the video. On February 14th, 2017, at approximately 12:17 p.m., Libby and Abby were found dead with wounds caused by, I believe that's an edged weapon, on the property owned by Ronald Logan. I play Fortnite with my daughter a few times. It's pretty fun. Hey, Olivia. Hey, D, what's up? We got D and Deb showing up. We got James. We got Sees Through and Richard Dobson. Good to see you guys. A large amount of blood was lost by the victims at the crime scene. Because the nature of the victim's wounds, it is nearly certain the perpetrator of the crime would have gotten blood on his person and clothing. When we read the Richard Allen's probable cause, that's exactly what we see as a witness claiming that there's a guy covered in mud and blood. The location of the crime scene. Hold on, I got a tickle in my throat. All right, that's better. The location of the crime scene is approximately 1,400 feet from Logan's residence. Logan is a 77-year-old male. Logan's physical build is consistent, I disagree, with that of a male suspect videoed by Libby on the Monon High Bridge Trail. Logan owns farmland and cares for large farm animals. Logan appears to be in good physical condition. Not that good. Logan has been interviewed several times. His voice is not inconsistent, I'm going to say regionally in that regard, with that of the person in the video. Yep. Hello, says the mud and blood brings me back to Richard Allen, wife saying she was at the laundromat the day because the washer quit working. Well, I don't know if she said that day, right? I know she did post something, but I don't know if it was that day. Did they get a new washer? Do we have video of her and the clothes in the laundromat? I mean, that is interesting because if you did, you may want to be like, hey, let's just get rid of this whole thing altogether. You know, why risk it? You never know. The Rockaway, sleuth intuition is right, people. There are quite a few logical fallacies in the investigation and documents. But why? Maybe the Hoosier Harvest Store video was the new direction. You know, maybe they were like, oh, you know, maybe they didn't. I don't know. Like, how do you overlook something like that? Or maybe they just needed time to examine it. I'm not sure. Steve Dave. Makes sense that they intended to kidnap and make them disappear because they are so local. Yeah. I mean, what is down the hill? There's that private drive. So Richard Allen may have been squeezing them into the private drive. Squeezing them into a kidnap scenario. That goes wrong. But this probable cause doesn't lead us to think that. So let's continue on here. And I'll tell you why. It was also discovered that I believe this is underwear. I don't know if there was any mention of a phone. This is either, I believe, I think this is underwear of one of the victims was missing from the crime scene while the rest of their clothing was recovered. It also appeared the girls' bodies were moved and staged. So maybe that's the part that Richard Allen played. Him being covered in blood and mud. You know, the killer kills the girls and it's like, now I need you to, making him do all the work or help. Based upon my training and experience, it is common for perpetrators of this type of crime to take a souvenir. So I'm wondering if that's what they found during the search on Richard Allen's property. In some fashion, memorialize the crime, whether by photos or electronic or digital methods that are then downloaded onto computers, storage devices, tablets, phones, iPad devices, etc. But this is the part I wanted to get to here was Libby and Abby had no visible signs of a struggle or fight. So I'm assuming that means maybe the perp's skin or something under their fingernails, maybe defensive marks, maybe bruising, like they got punched, or bruising on their own knuckles, something like that. I wonder why they state that here. So if they're going to run across the creek, right? They're running from these people. They're scared. They're scared to death. They're running. Then they get caught. Why not fight there? Is that when he chased and then cycled that shell? They ran because we seen his little fish dance, right? Richard Allen, when he was playing pool. I mean, this guy looked like he was fucking floating. Yeah, damn demon floating in the air, flopping around like a dead fish. So I can see that weird little dude fucking flipping up in those, up that creek bank. Fucking like a damn penguin or something across the water. Stops him. Shows the gun, cycles the round, and then commits the crime. I mean, that's a possible scenario. During the processing of the crime scene, investigators located unknown fibers and unidentified hairs, which may later be used for comparison of similar fibers or hairs. And we kind of already had that information. Yep says, I think the perp made them walk because of the weapon, then attacked them and probably freaked out the other female. She did whatever to stay alive, but there's no sign of a fight. So either they were tricked into a submissive position or they were surprised by the attack. Logan owns numerous weapons, including handguns and knives, that were observed by law enforcement during the execution of a search warrant that took place at his home on March 6, 2017. Logan's home was searched as a result of a probation violation. So even March 6th, they didn't even get to his house. They didn't even get to the probation search until the 6th. That's very strange. That's plenty of time to cover your tracks. That's all I'm saying. I don't see motive, but opportunity, I keep seeing it. The search was limited to discovery of firearms, including only his main residence. On February 14, 2017, at approximately 9:20 a.m., Logan contacted his cousin. So this is the information, the smoking gun, for people who think Logan was involved. But you have to put the human aspect back in there and self-preservation, Yeah, damn fish dance. Fucking penguin. Looking like a penguin that got flung in the air. Yeah, some kind of manipulation. Like is this even true? I mean, I can see the discrepancy with the time they were dropped off. I can't explain it. But that's a different question there. So Logan, on February 14th, 2017 at 9:20 a.m., Logan contacted his cousin. Logan asked his cousin to tell the police that his cousin came to Logan's home between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. So that is a little sus. But he also would be fully aware that that's when the girls went missing. You know, he already knows the timeline. And he would only need to cover his ass during that time. Further told his cousin to say that his cousin drove Logan to an aquarium store in Lafayette. Here, let's take a look at that image. I think I took a screenshot. So this place is called Aquarium World. $27 minutes. So what, an hour and 15 minutes would be the entirety of his trip, right? Half hour there, half hour back, 15 minutes to bullshit. All right. Logan told his cousin to say they returned home to his house at 5 p.m. Between 5 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. On February 14th, 2017, while requesting consent to search Logan's property, a law enforcement officer advised Logan that law enforcement would not search his home unless evidence led law enforcement to Logan's house. In that meeting, Logan told the law enforcement officer that he did not think evidence would lead them to that, but said, "I don't know." Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know. I mean, what if you're trying to set him up? He's like, you guys have already come this far. I mean, I don't know what the hell you're going to find. You've already violated me. You know, I don't know. What else, what's next in this fucking horror story? A receipt from Aquarium World in Lafayette dated February 13th, 2017 with a checkout time of 5:21. So an hour and a half, that means he's leaving at 4 o'clock, right at the same time that Richard Allen would have been seen kind of out on the street by the cemetery, between the cemetery and the Hoosier Harvest Store, the Mears lot, basically. March 6, 2017, during a probation violation search. Logan resides approximately 22 miles from the store. It would take in approximately 30 minutes to get to the store from Logan's home. On March 6, 2017, during an interview with law enforcement, Logan said he was picked up by his cousin around 3 p.m. and taken straight to the aquarium store. So they must, they could have spent much more time there. But I think the truth is, at 3, he left and went and got drunk and had pizza. And there's actually proof that later he was spotted somewhere. So there's actually a timeline out there that kind of makes it impossible for him to even have participated. On which March 6, 2017 interview, Logan said after he was done at the aquarium store, he was driven straight home. These statements were found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive law enforcement. Sees through. Knowing the time frame to ask for an alibi is worrying, though. Well, if you think about it, the whole day prior, everybody's like, Ron, Logan, have you seen the girls? They went missing between 2 and like 2:30. That was the last time they were seen. Did you see anything? He's like, no. The next day, he sees the search and he's like, damn, they still haven't found those girls. This can't be good. He's like, their first place they're going to come check is here. You know? And that's another reason. Why would you commit this kind of crime when you know the first place they're coming is you? It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, makes no sense. And Ron doesn't seem like a stupid person. So he called him he called his cousin the morning of February 14th and asked him to provide an alibi for Logan's drive to the aquarium in Lafayette. It's because I think when he drove to the aquarium, it was after he was already drinking as well. And I'll show you the article that I have. It came out after this search. I think it came out sometime in April. Law enforcement's discovery of Libby and Abby's deceased bodies based on investigators' experience, it is reasonable to believe that the creation of an alibi prior to discovery of a crime indicates culpability or knowledge of the crime. The cousin said he thought the photo... Oh, no, I don't know who this is. Redacted said he thought the photograph of the mail that was released by the media of the man on the bridge looked like Logan. Law enforcement learned that Logan had driven on February 13th, 2017 to the transfer station in Delphi, Indiana to drop off trash. Video from the transfer station shows Logan driving his white Ford pickup truck between 11:27 a.m. and 11:32 a.m. So it would have been closer to 11:53 considering the clock was off. So let's look at something else really quick. Okay, so here's the transfer station right here next to the Packers plant. Here's the bridge. So we also, if we go back to what Doug Carter originally said, he said at the CPS building, they're looking for a vehicle. What do you say? From 12 to 5. Now, 12 o'clock is right when, that's right around the time he would have been at the transfer station. But one thing that was strange was the transfer station, Richard Allen, and the Marathon gas station can all be found right here. If you just zoom in, they're all right here. I don't know if that means anything. Just something that I noticed. Witness claimed that Logan carried a gun everywhere he went, knew that Logan would carry a gun in a fanny pack. That's assuming that what you're seeing on the bridge guy is a fanny pack, which I always thought it was a old leather holster. Described Logan's fanny pack as one made out of a nicer material. During her March 8th, 2017 interview, Redacted told law enforcement when she first saw the photograph of a man on the bridge, she thought the police were looking for Logan because she thought the photograph was Logan. Did not initially realize the photograph was that of the suspect. Bullshit. I don't believe that statement. Oh, I didn't even know. I thought that was Ron Logan. I didn't know that this was the suspect. if you believe that, really? And we all know this is way after the crime. They had that information available 2 days after. Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was actually just a picture of Ron Logan. I don't buy that for a second. Sees Through says, you also have to wonder if it was not an escape attempt, why cross the creek with them? If it was a kidnapping, why park at the CPS? Yeah, and I guess kidnapping doesn't necessarily mean like you're going to take them very far. You're just, you're using some type of intimidation to take them somewhere else against their will. I think even holding somebody, you don't even have to take them anywhere. I think just even holding them there against their will could be considered kidnapping. This is backyard. Okay, let's see here. Where was I? A call placed using Logan's cell phone produced a cell tower data that shows Logan's cell phone appears to be in or around his property on February 13th, 2017 at 2:09 p.m. So they're saying, regardless of where he is, they're saying he's home at 2:09. The girls are confronted at 2:13. Although his exact location cannot be confirmed, the tower data shows that Logan's cell phone was in the Delphi area, in the area of the Monont High Bridge Trail. An analysis of Logan's cell phone data revealed a text message sent from his phone at 7:56 on the 13th. Initial exam of the analysis indicates Logan's phone was likely outside of his residence and in the proximity of where Libby and Abby's bodies were located. Yeah, he had a huge property though. He could have been anywhere on his property. Like he has to take care of a farm. Okay, so an analysis of Logan's cell phone data revealed a text message received by his phone at 10:16 p.m. on February 13th, 2017. Initial exam of the analysis indicates Logan's phone was outside his residence. I don't see how that's relevant. All right. December of 2016 was in a redacted was in a sexual relationship with Ron Logan. Like this just seems like slanderous. On and off in approximately 3 years. During an interview with law enforcement, said when she first learned of Abby and Libby were missing and then found deer near Logan's home, her initial thought was that Logan was involved. Like this pure speculation. Weird. I'm going to skip all this. I don't know what to think about all that stuff, but it seems very speculative. See. All right. Oh shit, we're already at an hour and a half. Give me one moment. We're going to skip the rest of this. If you guys want to see it, like I said, you can find it online. And if I remember, I'll put some links on here where you guys can grab it. Okay. Okay, we're going to jump right into Kegan Kline's transcript. Now, I just pulled certain pages. This is page 52. We read down here, law enforcement tells him, Bud, from your Dropbox account off your phone, we have started one of the largest child pornography investigations ever undertaken in the state of Indiana. Now, what does that mean? And why hasn't law enforcement told us what that means? What does that mean? And where are you now? From his Dropbox. Let's see here. Kegan acting dumb says, I have a Dropbox, not that I would send nudes through. Say a lot of people have Dropboxes. Are people that communicated with you or you shared image through your Dropbox link? Yeah, no. But we start looking at those people and it just freaking spirals out of control to this major child pornography ring. Absolutely. And you have it to the point where when you're getting this child porn, you're sharing it with Emily, with your Emily Ann account to your Kegan Kline, to your Kegan Kline Dropbox account. Why are you doing that, Kegan? You can't tell me that the guy that you randomly lived with for a month knows your Dropbox password. It's bullshit. Okay, so when Hannah Rostol sends an image of a Caucasian female, well, this is pretty explicit. And we'll zoom down here. Some people look at that and they believe there are two people routinely speaking on multiple devices that are in your house because of the phonetics are different. The phrasing is different, but this is over a period of time. We're not talking like this is an isolated thing. A week here and not a week there and not a week here. We're talking about over a period of time. They question Kegan, just like, again, it's a fact that you're communicating to her multiple days at a time, just like other girls that you were talking to, including up to the day that she went missing, right before. And what I want to know is, what would you communicate with her on? His iPhone 5 was your primary device, right? And that's the one he got a charge for deleting everything from the 10th of February to the 16th of February. Hannah is another pedophile. Somebody else's version of Emily Ann. And apparently Kegan would be trading CSAM with this person. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those cases, Ivy. Yeah, there was a lot of movement since then. I do have to admit that. But I would like to know if they were related. Okay, let's continue on here. We're running out of time. Quick. Let's see here. Okay, well, on February 13th, this would have been logged in a little bit earlier. So you would have been, it would have been at 8 o'clock in the morning at your house, 67 Canal, okay? When you and your dad lived. Two separate devices. See the numbers here? See how they're the same? Log in, log out, log in, log out. There's no reason to do that. Why would you log in to the same account just to log into the same account on another phone? Now, I can understand if you had two phones and you had two separate accounts, your fake account and your real account in one phone. But why would you need to log out ever? You would just leave them logged in. But you would log out and log in if you were doing it to another phone, maybe to give it to somebody or to log into somebody else's phone, or maybe even a burner phone, you know, something along those lines. Hannah, actually, I don't know. Some people say that Hannah's been, you know, they've been tracked down. They know who this person is, and that it's most likely somebody who messes with CSAM, but I don't know. I don't know the full story of it. I haven't received any verification on anything, so who knows? It could be possible. Yeah, it's not that really that they're cunning, and it's they've had plenty of practice. They practice this shit. Like think what Kegan Kline, he's been doing this since 2014. Manipulating, sextorting his victims. Maybe we didn't even know half of his depravity, really. Okay, I will move on with the topic. Yep. Sandy Hook, animals, all kinds of nasty stuff. Okay. So this is where they mention the ski mask stuff, and we'll probably end it here because we are running out of time. Says here, she comes home from school, sees this guy with a ski mask looking in her bedroom window directly after giving this address to Anthony Schatz. As a matter of fact, that's the incident that started everything else last time. That's how everything started last time, was that incident. Okay, so let me read my notes here real quick. Think about this. If the man in the ski mask would have successfully silenced Libby's friend, we may never have found Kegan, aka Anthony Schatz, who very well may have led to Richard Allen. He was there to tie up loose ends. So let's say after the crime, one of the killers says, okay, we need to think about this. Kegan, you're going to get us all caught. You need to tell me right now, who else knows about this Anthony Schatz profile? And can you be tied to it? He's like, well, yeah, I can be tied to it, but the only other person that really knows about it is Libby's friend. That's who introduced me to her. So right then and there, the killer's like, okay, I need to go and silence this person. Because if you think about it, the day that happened, the very next day, the day that it happened was on the 19th, or was on the 20th. And the very next day they left to Las Vegas was the 21st. So who knows? Maybe Kegan and Tony were scared. They're like, damn, this freaking guy's crazy. He killed those two girls right in front of us. He tried to go kill that other girl. Like, we got to get out of here. Like, she's gonna silence everybody. So who's the guy in the ski mask? Who could that person be? Let's watch a quick little news clip on this. They go over the information pretty well. So we'll take a look at
Anthony
this.
Schatz's fake social media profile started with another incident reported to police just days after the bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams were discovered.
We're getting steps and steps closer to solving this case. Rich Nye is digging deeper into the transcript now of a police interview with Kegan Kline to learn more about what led up to his arrest.
Well, again, first of all, it's very important to remind you that Kegan Kline is not charged with the killings of Libby German and Abby Williams. Kline has been held in the Miami County Jail for over a year and a half now on 30 charges of child pornography and exploitation. Investigators say he used the fake Anthony Schatz social media profile to communicate with underage girls and receive sexually explicit images. Police interviewed Kline at the time of his arrest in August 2020. They questioned him in that interview about another school-age girl that gave her address to the Anthony Schatz profile just after the Delphi murders. Kline knew the girl in Galveston personally. The police told Kline that she comes home from school, sees this guy with a ski mask looking in her bedroom window directly after giving this address to Anthony Schatz. As a matter of fact, that's the incident that started everything else last time. That's how everything started last time, was that incident. And Kegan replied, that's crazy. So here's the timeline and locations in north central Indiana. The bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams were discovered near a trail in Delphi in Carroll County on February 14, 2017.
Yeah, Francis, it could be. I mean, if he's like this cold-blooded killer and he's really worried about, basically what's happening now, him being arrested and his entire family being embarrassed, We heard what Doug Carter said. He said, think about those closest to you, what they'll think, and they find out you brutally murdered these girls. You're going to be ruined. They're going to be ruined. And it's going to tarnish your entire legacy if you ever had one to begin with. So if you are a family man, that might be plenty for you to go silence these witnesses. If you've kind of broken it down and if you've had a few days to think about, okay, what's going to get me caught for this crime? Well, it's probably going to be Kegan Kline and his connection to the Anthony shots. So tell me who's connected. Well, it's Libby's friend. Okay, well, my paranoid ass, now that you just told me that, I got to go take out this person.
6 days later, on February 20th, is that incident in Galveston in Cass County, where the girl that Klein knew had given her address to the Anthony Shots profile. She saw a man in a ski mask looking in her bedroom window. And then on February 25th, police searched the home in Peru in Miami County, where Klein lived with his father. They found over 100 photos and videos of underage girls on several electronic devices. Police say the Anthony Shots profile communicated with Libby German hours before her death. Police questioned Klein intensely about anyone else who may have had access to his devices, especially his father.
And don't forget this either. You have the Anthony Shots profile communicating with her, right? The day of the crime, stating that he was supposed to meet her and all of this. Now, put that in context with what we read about him logging in and out of those phones. Okay, those are multiple perps right there. The only reason to log out of one phone, why would you log out of the Anthony Shots account on this phone to log into it on another? You would not do that. Kegan Kline, his excuse was so I can be a more efficient catfish predator. But if that was the truth, you would just keep one on each phone, right? There's no reason for you to log in and log out. And why would this, that seems strange for this type of a personality to be up at 8 a.m. in the morning. Usually you would think that type of person is sleeping in till, noon, 2 in the day with that kind of behavior. So they were planning something that morning. There's others involved. And that's the only explanation, right?
Jerry Anthony Klein goes by Tony and has a criminal history that includes convictions of sexual harassment, battery, and theft. But Indiana State Police will not tell us at this point whether they have questioned Tony Klein about the Delphi murders.
Crazy. Oh man, I'm running out of time and I'm not done. Okay, so right here it states, on top of that, you searched the redacted on 2/19/17. The redacted name is Libby's friend, who introduced her, mistakenly to this Anthony Shots person. And he says, what do you mean I searched? The day before that happened, so the 19 being the day before that happened, we know for a fact that the ski mask incident happened on the 20th. Right here. The 20th, the day before that happened, right here, he's referring to the 19th. Your phone shows that you searched Libby's friend. Apparently on Facebook. Okay, let's see here. Oh, so then with your logic, then back then when you said that maybe you weren't with dad all day then, huh? Right. Okay. I don't know. Could be possible. Yeah, the only time I ever really left my dad was when I would go to, I think his friend one, and get weed. I didn't even have a car. And then they ask here, would it be normal for you to look up porn at grandma and grandpa's house? Because not only did they have his location, they knew what he was doing. Hey, Redfoot, you think so? Nah, man. I always, shorter. I always thought it was going to be a shorter person. Perry, hello. If he told law enforcement he was on the bridge, he supposedly would have told his wife. And she saw that footage knowing he was there and still didn't recognize him. Well, early on in the case, I remember there was somebody on social media, like an anonymous type person, but they would kind of go into the Facebook groups, they would go onto the Reddits, and they would say, "Don't you guys know that the guy on the bridge came forward and spoke to somebody and he's been cleared?" And I always took it that they saw, the new direction presser when they presented the younger sketch, and that's what they were saying. They're like, "We're not, the older guy's been cleared. We're looking for the younger guy now." But no, these messages, some of them are dated prior to that. But I would just dismiss them, But I'm wondering if it was his friends or family members who were kind of trying to make a presence on social media and trying to be like, "Look, I don't know." They might have been confused. Like, I don't know why law enforcement's not clearing him, but we know for a fact, our husband or our friend or whoever did come forward. Like, we know for a fact he spoke to these people and they've never come and questioned him. Okay, so they basically set him up with that question. They're like, "So yeah, your grandparents looking at porn?" It's like, "No, you're not, buddy. We got you." We have multiple device logins from your house, right? The Canal Street from Snapchat account within minutes of one another. And they mentioned that earlier. We have the day that you gave your polygraph and your interview, you were steadfast that I met them in the beginning of February. Now, what they're referring to is when I read the probable cause affidavit, there was also an interview that took place then. And sometimes they make reference to that interview here in this interview. I never spoke to her beyond February 1st or 2nd. And the guy says, "Look, we know you spoke to her the day she was murdered. You said absolutely not. I blocked her. She was annoying me after the first second, right? We have these images. You saying that's not you. No, what? That's not it." Basically, it sounds here like he was asking for nude photos and they were like out. They weren't sending him nudes, but they were maybe something that appeared to be. And he was getting upset. Nudes, what are you good for? If you're not going to send nudes, what are you good for? We have these grooming pictures. We have the money, the Anthony Schatz money account going to her, not coming from her. He's not extorting her for money. He's sending her money, account going to her. Now, why would he send her money? Possibly to get a burner phone. Take this money, go buy yourself a phone, and I'll show you how to use it. Grooming. Let me read my old notes here. KK might be texting 50 girls, right? Like, he kind of claims to be this pedophile who's throwing out the net. I'm casting out a wide net. But he's not sending money to them all. He ain't got money like that. He ain't sending out a huge money net. He specifically has a connection with Libby. She believed that Anthony Schatz was a real person. We have the kick messenger with all these my daddy references. Regardless of what you say, there are two different authors of those messages. Regardless of what you say, right? They're not both you. They're both your devices. They're mixed, but the phrasing is different. It changes. It's not the same person. So we know we have multiple account logins with Snapchat. We have 2 different people using Kick Messenger, talking to people from your residence. I mean, all that 100% is true, for sure. We know it. We know it for a fact. So remove yourself from it, the bullshit, and trying to pick out every individual piece. It starts to stack. It just keeps stacking. The phone. You're on the phone that you had. All your search history was deleted from 210 to 215. There's nothing in between. So now that's interesting about that is all those other phones have complete histories. Nothing's gone. So this is the comment that led me to believe that there could be a phone that law enforcement has no knowledge of. It's a phone that he set up, the killer used, or a phone that really had all his nasty shit on it. You know, like he had these other phones, burner phones or old phones that he activated and was using. But technically those were all just his personal phones. You know what I mean? But he also had another really sticky, nasty, smelly phone that he may have been sending the girls to. Like when he has some of the girls that he's able to really convince, like it sounds like Libby may have been somewhat convinced about it. Maybe he separates those people for whatever reason. Let's see. So during the time frame where this grooming would have been built up, meeting, it's gone. It's wiped away from your phone, but your other devices are complete. So now it all starts to stack. The complexity of your Anthony Schatz persona, the cars, the influence, Lamborghinis, Ferraris. It's not you. It's not your idea. You and I both know it's not your idea. What do you mean? It's not my idea to take pictures of money and stuff and send it to people. I'm sure it was his idea. But was he asked to do it? I don't know. I mean, like I said, the other person that had access to my phone is him, and he's referring to his friend 1. So when you are searching nonstop about the Delphi investigation, when you're supposed to be on vacation, when you're still actually sending Snapchats to Liberty when you know she's dead, you don't ever remember doing that? Well, I'm saying you did. That's a fact. Okay? Like that could be me sending that message to a ton of people. That's bullshit because you also sent them money. So they are separated from that group because there ain't no way you're sending all those people money. Let me read my notes here. Is it possible Kegan went with his dad to High Bridge and his dad left the vehicle on foot and came back to the vehicle after an hour or so? Once back to the vehicle, he tells Kegan they didn't show up. But again, that in there, that I know what you mean. I had nothing to do with that. So, I know I get she's dead and I get you guys want to find someone, but I literally have no clue. When you walked in here, you said, I'm not a car guy. I'm not. I know what a Lamborghini is. What do you mean? Well, of course, everyone does. A Lamborghini. Let's see, let's skip ahead. Let me ask you why you would, after you failed the polygraph, after knowing about the Delphi investigation. Now, this is proof here that in the arrest affidavit, the other case mentioned was the Delphi investigation. About knowing about the Delphi investigation. Come home, delete your Snapchat and your Instagram, which you used to communicate with Libby. So think about it. He's not worried about these phones here. He comes home. He's like, I can just clean these ones up. I'm not worried about these phones. Not realizing how bad it really is. And then also maybe throwing another phone into the water, into the Wabash River. How long he searches, which you used to communicate with Libby, and then you searched how long does DNA last? Why would you do that? And why would he do that? Let's see what else I have here. Why would you care how long DNA lasts? Yeah, why is he searching about DNA? He stated, I was with my dad all day, went to my grandma and grandpa's at noon. At noon, there's that time again, noon. You told them a few days after this happened, you know you were with your dad all day. Your interview said you either said 12 or 2 or 12 to 3, and then you came back. So that's strange, right? There's that time again, 12 to 3, 12 to 5, vehicle at the CPS building. And then you came back home. That's what you said. And they were asking for a driver of the vehicle parked at the CPS building from 12 noon to 5 p.m. And he actually answered that question with right. Damn it, guys, we're out of time. Let's see if I had any miscellaneous stuff to go over with you guys. So all this was kind of sparked from that Daily Mail article. You guys can go check out that video I did. I pretty much read the whole thing. It's pretty long-winded. Oh, yeah, I got this right here. So this is tomorrow. Me and CD are going to be hanging out. So CD is former law enforcement, retired. The name of his channel is Analysis of a Crime with CD. I already have the live stream created. It's scheduled for tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to hang out and we're going to open up the phone lines. So if you guys want to ask questions, excuse me, directly to former law enforcement, CD is amazing. He's been covering the case from the beginning, so he can give you an in-depth answer. And if you have a random question for me, I'll be happy to answer as well. And then also, I got this going on. This is going to be really fun. Pop that up there. So we are going to be doing a ghost hunt in Jerome, Arizona, December 29th. Probably closer to like maybe 12 p.m. Eastern time, or 12 a.m. I'm sorry, Eastern time, and it'll be later in the night. So this one should be really fun. And we'll hang out another 5 minutes in the chat and we'll start closing her down. Sorry, guys, we just ran out of time today. But if you have a follow-up or you're part of the replay crew, leave a comment there. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It's good for my channel. And, you know, think about becoming a member. We have fun. We stay active in the members portion of the channel. But most importantly, the easiest way to support the channel is by hitting the like button. So I appreciate it if you guys could do that for me. And we will start wrapping it up. Vanilla Gorilla, thank you so much. 12 Cut, good to see you. Peace out. Good night, Nadia. Todd, I think you have to go through a certain browser. I don't know if you can do it on your phone unless you have a link to the actual YouTube. You can't use the YouTube mobile, so maybe try your PC. Thank you, Jimmy. sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Thank you, French. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate your participation and your perspective. Thank you. Take care, Grandma. Peace out. The sleuth, the whole sleuth, and nothing but the sleuth. Yeah, I appreciate you participating in the chat as well, James. Hope to see you around more. Thank you, D. And there's the email again from my number one mod, D. Ashley. Thanks for holding it down, D. Thank you, Moon Crystal. Good to see you as always. Thanks, James. It's going to be good to see you again. Appreciate it. All right, guys, you enjoy the rest of your day. Shout out to the replay crew. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for all your help.